suit and jacket. I ain't giving my freedom for your money and status. So don't say I'm getting older, 'cause I'll say it when I do. 'Cause everybody I know is growing old too quickly. I don't wanna go, so how am I supposed to slow it down so I can figure out who I am?
Hey everyone, Charles John here, CEO World Class Media. And that was amazing. That is a song that I actually remixed, and you can get that song if you go to bringbackyurmagic.com/1, because this is episode number 1. Welcome to the brand new podcast in 2021, voted best podcast in 2021 by me. And it's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be I'm going to be talking about what is good, what's bad, what's ugly, what's funny, what's popular, and hopefully it'll be one of the most listened to motivational podcasts on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and also on Spotify. I'm going to be blasting this out everywhere. This is actually part of a book that I'm writing, and this book is dedicated to my kids, Sophia, who's 12, and my son, Brooklyn, who's 8, and my wife, Jody. I figured if I wrote this book dedicated to them, it would have the appropriate amount of empathy and the authenticity and the care that I am looking for in this book, and that I want every reader to hear. So what I have for you in episode number 1, we're going to talk about Zig Ziglar's 7 steps of goal setting. And he actually says a goal properly set is halfway reached. So I'm going to show you how to immediately get halfway to your goals. And I firmly believe that. I'm also going to talk about some things that billionaires use, such as Grant Cardone, and in writing goals and how to write them correctly, how to properly set your goals. And who am I? I've consulted Fortune 500 companies. I've consulted clients like PIMCO, a multi-billion-dollar investment firm on the West Coast, and Campbell Ewald, who has clients like Cadillac, AT&T, the Army, etc., and several other Fortune 500/Fortune 100 companies under non-disclosure agreement. So I can't really talk about them. But my purpose is to raise you up in this podcast, and I believe that the whole society can be raised through the arts. I believe that everyone is an artist in their own way. Even if you decorate your home, you're an interior designer of some sort. Everyone has that artistic eye. Even golf, some of the best golfers I know, it's an art. It's an art. And really, everyone is an artist in their own way. The way they dress, the way they look, etc., the way they do their makeup, all of these things are artistic traits. And I believe that can raise everyone up in society. So my goal is to raise society through the arts. And the goal of this book is to help you find that magic to reduce your stress, to reduce overwhelm, and to help you achieve that time in your life when you actually felt magical. I know 2020 was a tough year, and I want you to find that magic, even if it was when you were a kid. I want you to think back to when all those pressures weren't there and you felt magical. So that is my goal, to bring that back to you. And this is my journey. I don't profess to be a master. This is also an entrepreneurial journey. I believe entrepreneurs create businesses, and each episode will have a cheat sheet that I have prepared with a worksheet which contains a simple 2-minute action item. Why is it 2 minutes? Because I was recently reading a book, Atomic Habits, and he talks about how, this is by James Clear, highly recommended, amazing book. And it's also based on an earlier book on habits by Charles Duhigg, which I have read both, but I recommend you read Atomic Habits, which extends Charles Duhigg's book on the ingredients of a habit, basically. So, and I believe that your health is a reflection of your habits. Your marriage is a reflection of your habits. Your wealth and your freedom how much you save. That's all a habit, right? Do you spend your paycheck each time? I know I live paycheck to paycheck sometimes, and I'm trying to break that habit, for example. And I know others do as well. So each episode will have its own cheat sheet that I prepared, and this worksheet will give you a simple 2-minute action item on each episode. It'll also give you a quote to memorize. I believe that we lose 75% of what we read if we don't memorize and quote a stable piece of information. So you can go to bringbackyurmagic.com/1, and you can get your cheat sheet. Also get the free song included with each one. I believe music is magical in some way. Creation is magical. It's the greatest joy there is in life, is to create, right? So you can go and download this episode, and you can download the worksheet and some of the most anticipated chapters and broadcasts and MP3s at bringbackyurmagic.com/1 for episode number 1. Okay, so we were talking about atomic habits, and a 2-minute habit can be formed for your life. So every action can be broken down into a 2-minute habit. For example, and I like to split test everything, I actually would put my gym clothes next to my bed, so when I got out of bed, I would have to step on my gym clothes, and that was my 2-minute habit start. It's to kickstart your habit. Every action can be reduced to a 2-minute segment. For example, in this episode, I would like you to pick up a pen, and that could be your trigger, because we're going to do some steps on writing goals. I'm going to go over what Zig Ziglar's 7 steps of goal setting are to completely get you halfway to achieving your goals. And we are going to break down for you the 7 steps to laying out those goals, especially for 2021. I know 2020 was a horrible year for some of us. Some of us, it was a decent year. Some of us, it was a crazy year. But go ahead to bringbackyurmagic.com/1 and download your cheat sheet. Okay, let's get into Zig Ziglar's 7 steps of goal setting. In order to create better goals, you need to, first, identify clearly what the goal is. You should have an image in your mind of exactly what your goal is. And you should have it so clearly and firmly set in your mind that you know that you can achieve that goal, or that's what you want. You have a very clear image of it, and you need to write it down. That is the first step I would like you to do, is write down one goal on this cheat sheet. I'm going to list out the 7 steps, and it's going to be in an Excel format for you. So you can write your goals, and you can write down each of the 7 steps. Step number 2, once you've identified your goal and what you want to achieve, you need to list the benefits of that goal. A lot of people are short-sighted with their goals. They say, I want to become a millionaire or billionaire, but why? What do you want money for? Is it to buy freedom? I believe it's short-sighted to just say you want money. You want more time, you want more happiness, you want more choices. There's usually a reason. You want to help your church. List the benefits of that goal. Why do you want that goal? What will that goal do? 3, list the obstacles that you have to overcome. What is something that you're going to have to overcome to get to that goal? And 4, list the skills and knowledge required to achieve that goal. What do you need to achieve that goal? And number 5, list the people or groups you work with, or that you will work with, to achieve that goal. So pretty much any goal that's of a hard importance, or any goal that is hard to achieve, may require additional people to work with you to achieve that goal. Who can fill in what you don't? Or, as I like to say, if you hate doing it, do what you hate and then delegate. So if you don't like doing what you're doing, you need to do what you hate first and then delegate that to somebody else. And if you can, outsource it or give it to somebody who loves to do that skill. If you hate sales, maybe you shouldn't be doing sales, but get somebody to do sales, because somebody's got to do the sales, right? Every company is dependent upon sales. So number 5 is list the people or groups to work with. Number 6 is to create an action plan to achieve it. And this is all in the Excel spreadsheet that I'm going to give you on bringbackyourmagic.com/1. So 6 is to create an action plan to get there. I like to break it down into a 1-item action plan. So what we found with, I consult, big clients, etc. And what I found is when I gave them more than one action item, they would go into overwhelm. So each time I consult them, I give them only one thing to do. Now you should create a 1-step action plan for that goal. What is the one thing you're going to do to achieve that goal? That's step number 6. And step number 7, the deadline for achievement. You need a deadline and you need to be held accountable to achieve that goal. And this is proper goal setting. So now you've predicted what it's going to take. You've predicted the estimation of effort, and you need to do that. Now, I mentioned in this podcast that I had an aha moment. I was listening to Grant Cardone, his book, Sell or Be Sold, and he talks about doing something every day. And he says, do it every day. If it's not worth doing every day, it's probably not worth doing at all. So, and I believe he was talking about going to the gym. He goes to the gym every day. I now go to the gym every day. Some people don't like to go to the gym every day, but I do. I like to do something every day, and that means it's important to me. He also says you either have always or you have nevers. In other words, you either do something all the time or you never do it. So you should create a system for yourself. And in the book, Atomic Habits, he mentions a lady in New York who would call a cab in the morning, and as soon as she made that call, the cab would be on its way, and she knew she had to get ready, and she would go to the gym that morning because the cab would show up, and she'd have to go to the gym and then come back. But as soon as she made that call, that 2-minute action item, that trigger, she would achieve that goal for that day. So I want you to think about what is the trigger, and in this book, I would say the trigger is to get a pen and paper and have it to hand. If you do not have a pen and paper yet, that is your action item. There is a quote from the Bible, which is seek and ye shall find. But a lot of people don't realize that that's only half of the quote. The rest of the quote is Matthew 7:7. It says, ask and it will be given to you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. In other words, it takes asking. It takes knocking. These are all action items. It takes taking action. For example, I could buy a treadmill. It could arrive at my doorstep. That does not mean I'm going to get on that treadmill and run. So it's up to you to start running. It's up to you to take action. Grab a pen and paper. First action item is to actually write your goals down and break them into these 7 steps. Take one goal, and in the next 2 minutes, list out the benefits, list out the obstacles to overcome, list out the skills and knowledge required, list the people and groups to work with, create an action plan, and set the deadline for achievement. Go over to bringbackyourmagic.com/1 and welcome to episode number 1. You can download this episode and chapters and the upcoming chapters as they become available to you. I'm going to be tweaking them, adding some big words so I sound much smarter than I am, and releasing it as a book. So get your free book there as well. Give me your feedback. Ask questions. I want to hear from you. bringbackyourmagic.com/1.
growing old too quickly. I don't wanna go, so how am I supposed to slow it down so I can figure out who I am?